Afternoon, everybody. Christian here. Today I have a prophetic dream for you that I had last night. Today is November the 27th, so sometime last night, 2017, I had this dream. Okay, so this is how the dream went. I'll tell you the dream, then I'll tell you what interpretation I have of the dream. If there is something that you see in the dreams you'd like to share with me, feel free to comment below. Alright, here's the dream. So in this dream, I see that I am standing in my house, and I am anticipating a positive outcome from something. I'm just anticipating something good to happen. Immediately I see an individual, a Chinese individual, outside my home, and they're beckoning to me to come look at what is in the water. And so I go out with the Chinese individual to the edge of the ocean, and I look at the ocean wave. I'm standing on the sand, right? And in the ocean there is a massive wave that has just come in to shore. But before it breaks, it hits the shore, it freezes solid. And it has frozen solid. I don't see it freeze solid. When I look at it, it is already frozen solid, right? When I'm looking at this, a second wave comes up behind the first. Now the first wave is already several stories tall. The second one is bigger because I can see it behind the first. And as it comes up, it also freezes solid. Then I realize, right, I'm aware that there's going to be a third wave. And it will not freeze solid. It will keep coming. And I go back into my home. The next scene in the dream is my home is full of water and I'm underwater. And I think to myself in this dream, all I would have to do is take one deep breath and I would be in heaven. Then I have a thought that says, yeah, but is that what God wants you to do? Or was that what God wants me to do? And that is the end of my dream. Alright, so this is the interpretation that I have. Let's start with being in the home, and I am in the home. Remember, God said, whatsoever he does to me, he's going to do to the church. So in this particular picture, what you're seeing is the church, okay? And the church, the house of God, in a particular land, all right? In this particular case, China. And ergo, the Chinese individual outside. And they have a hope of some positive thing is going to happen in their land, in their home. But it's not going to happen. They're going to get hit with this third wave. The waves themselves, they represent, I believe it's like with the credit crisis, it's a continuation of that. It's a global credit crisis. The sea, it actually touches all the different nations, right? And so when you have a picture of the sea, it isn't just affecting one nation. It will actually reach out and touch, have ripple effects, okay? And so the first two waves, they were actually able to stop them from hitting the shore. But the third wave, they will not be able to stop it. Now, the fact that the homeowner, right, I was in the home and I was in my home, the homeowner is underwater in the dream. It shows the condition it will be. When you say that a homeowner is underwater, it basically means that the homeowner owes more than the home is actually worth anymore. So a big drop in home value, okay? We saw that in 2008 here in the US, other places as well. When you see myself in the dream have the suicidal thoughts, that is depression, all right? So that God is showing that there's going to be a depression in China. And then, of course, the way out of it is to focus on what it is that God actually wants for you, not to just give up, you know, but focus on that. Now, when I woke up and I thought about the dream, I thought, okay, what's the positive? There's always a positive in whatever God's showing you, you know. So what is the thing that you're wanting me to glean from this? And we know in the Bible, God tells us that there will be storms that will come, right, and test the house, right? And it will remain standing. The home did not fall, even though it was underwater. it didn't fall. So that's a positive. But there's also the positive that God is showing me, Christian, right, that there is going to be a depression in China. And it's going to have a negative effect on the church. Whatever God does to me, He's going to do to the church. So if God's showing me myself in the dream, He's telling me the church in China is going to go through a difficult time. And so in essence, He's also telling me, I want you to help. And so I'm telling you, if God is leading you to find some ministry to support, to help along the way, and He shows you something in China, yeah, I would listen to that, because it's going to be along the line of what God's showing me, and He's telling me this is what's going to take place. So we need to be there for our brothers and sisters over there in China, okay? So just kind of sharing with you some insight God's given me as of last night regarding an economic collapse and how it's going to affect China. Again, you know, if you have a depression in China, it doesn't mean you won't have one somewhere else. It's just what God's shown me thus far, and we could very easily suffer a recession or worse with China, you know, and going through a depression. So there's a lot that this is not happening in a vacuum. We're all going to be affected by it, but God is focusing my attention on China right now, so I want to bring that to your attention as well. Okay, God bless, take care. Don't forget I upload every couple of days, so hit the share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.